Hello people of the internet, welcome back. In this video I'm going to be talking about the ways that I like to stay organised as a neurodivergent student. So we'll get right into it. So my first tool that I like to use is Outlook Calendar. So I used to use Google Calendar, and actually I think I slightly preferred Google Calendar, but my university uses Outlook Calendar for our lectures and everything, so I prefer to just stick with that. There is a way to add your Outlook Calendar to Google Calendar, and I did that I think my first year when I was there. However, it wouldn't like update and stuff, so if anything changed you'd have to manually update your Google Calendar with the new Outlook Calendar, and for me that's just like a lot of effort, so I switched over to Outlook Calendar, and now I put all of my personal things and all of my university things onto the Outlook Calendar. I can also share my calendar with people like interpreters or note takers, which I do have at university because I am deaf and autistic. So sometimes, you know, lectures get moved around, lectures get cancelled, and for me it's very, very stressful to have to like email like 5 different people individually to work out who's, you know, if something changes, to let them all know and keep everyone updated. So it's nice for me to be able to share my calendars with them. They will also be able to see like yoga 6 p.m. or whatever, but I don't care about that. I'm not doing anything, I'm not putting anything awful in my Outlook calendar, so I'm not doing anything awful. So I wouldn't need to put it in my Outlook calendar. So yeah, they will see my personal things as well, but I don't really care that much. It's all people that I kind of know. Additionally, I like to use Goblin Tools. So Goblin Tools is a website and an app. The app costs I think like £2.99 or something. So it is quite inexpensive, but it does cost money. The website's completely free, so you can use that whenever. Goblin Tools has a variety of different tools. It has the magic to-do list, so that breaks things down. So for example, if you need to write an essay or something, for example, you would type in write an essay and press the plus button, press the magic wand, and it will break it down into a variety of different steps. So it says choose a topic for the essay, conduct research on the topic, create an outline to organise your thoughts, write a strong thesis statement, draft the introduction paragraphs, write the body paragraphs including supporting evidence, ensure each paragraph transitions smoothly to the next, draft the conclusion paragraph, edit and revise the essay for clarity and coherence, proofread for grammar and spelling errors. And if you need any of those tips breaking down, you can break those down as well. And so for example, you can, if you're having trouble choosing a topic for the essay, you can break that one down. So consider the assignment requirements, reflect on your interests and passions, brainstorm a list of potential topics, research existing literature on those topics, narrow down the topics based on availability of resources, evaluate the relevance of each topic to your audience, choose a specific angle or aspect of the selected topic, and finalise your topic choice. You can break down each one of those steps even further, and then you can break down any of those steps as well. So that makes it very easy. It's also got a spiciness level. So it's like a number of chili peppers. I'll hold it up. This is like the least professional way of doing this. But yeah, you can see chili peppers, and you can go from 1 chili pepper to like 5 chili peppers, which is like the maximum. And that's like how much it breaks it down for you. So the default is like 3 chili peppers, and I normally find that quite good. And then you can break anything down further that you need. But that is not all. It also has the formalizer. I love this one. So it advertised itself as turn the chaotic thoughts into classy ones, or vice versa. So if, for example, you want to write an email and you're not sure if you've got the tone right, or you think you need to be more formal or more professional or something, you can type in what you would originally say, and it will convert it into being more professional. I also really like the the more accessible option. So if you have some really kind of complex text or something that you're just not quite understanding, it will turn all the jargon into much more simple words, and that I find very helpful to use. It also has the judge of, am I misreading the tone of this? So it will tell you the tone and suggest a response. The professor will give you an explanation and an example of something, and so that's very good. The consultant will give you a pros and cons list and an advice section. So if you're like, what would be the pros and cons of dyeing my hair blue? You can add that in there and it will tell you the pros and cons. You can try it out yourself if you want. Yeah, so it'll give you pros and cons lists. The estimator tells you how long things are going to take, which is also available on the Magic To Do items. Sometimes it's a bit off because I think I'm quite slow at doing stuff, so sometimes it's a bit off, but it's a really good starting point if you want to know, for example, how long it's going to take to wash up 3 place settings for dinner. It will tell you a time, and it's useful. The compiler compiles your brain dump into a list of tasks. So if you just have like loads of things that you need to do in your brain but you can't really get them into a solid list in your brain, type everything in there and it will like create a list of tasks for you, which is really helpful. And then if you need to, you can put those tasks into the Magic To Do and do that. The chef is where you write ingredients and dietary constraints, serving sizes, equipment, time, anything else you want, and put it in there, and then it will suggest recipes that you could cook. Try and put things together that would actually make sense. So if you put like mayonnaise and pineapple into the chef, it can't really do anything with mayonnaise and pineapple other than eat the pineapple. Probably not mix mayonnaise and pineapple. I don't think that'd be good. I don't know, maybe some people like that sort of thing. Yeah, so that is the final option in Goblin Tools. Again, it's a website and an app. I have paid the $2.99 for the app or whatever it is. I like that it's not a subscription model. That is the price for the app, and then you have the app. I like that it's not a subscription model, so I was willing to pay. But you can just use the website for free, but I just wanted to support the company because I think they're really good. Normal to-do lists. I just like to keep the to-do list simple. I always have one on my notes app on my phone. I'm filming on my phone, unfortunately, so I can't really show you. I also just keep notes on my phone all the time. So to-do list, shopping list, anything. So if, for example, I'm just going around my house thinking, oh, I really need to buy some more shampoo because my shampoo bottle's getting very light. I will, because my brother uses all my shampoo. So then I'll just type that in my phone as soon as I think of it. I'm of the opinion that your brain is for having ideas, not storing ideas. So I don't try and store information in my head. I just chuck it out there, you know. I have to put it on my phone immediately or I will forget. Like if I'm going to the shop and I need to get like 3 things, I will also just write that down because I will forget, and I'll write it on my phone so I don't write it on a piece of paper and then forget the piece of paper. So I know as long as I've got my phone with me, I'm okay. I also use Hyperjar, which is a budgeting app. It's an app that you just download, it's free, and you can get a virtual card, or you can pay like a little bit of money to get a physical card. I have a physical card as well, just in case, you know, my phone runs out of battery or something, I can still buy stuff. And you can transfer money from your bank account and put it into as many different pots as you would like. So I split it into a few different things. So I, after I finished university, I'm in my final year now, I have some courses that I'd like to do. So I'd like to do like a TEFL course, and I want to do my level 6 British Sign Language. I want to do the DIP Trans exam. I have like a load of distance learning courses that I'd like to do, but they're going to cost quite a bit of money. So I'm starting saving up now, and I have a certain amount that I need to put in every month to cover the cost of the courses, so I'm doing that, and I've got a pot for that. I've got a pot for holidays, I've got a pot for birthdays, pot for Christmas. Yes, I start saving for Christmas in January, as I think everyone should, because one thing I don't understand, this is way off topic, people who act like the expense of Christmas is a surprise every single year. And it's like, well, just plan further in advance. Not to be like, if you literally have no money, that's different. Like, if you couldn't afford, you can't save up for anything because you are like living very hand to mouth. I'm not judging people who are in that situation, but when you know someone has the money, you know, they're always, you know, have additional money through the year. So I just think, yeah, if you saved up throughout the year, you'd be fine for Christmas. Like, if you put like £10 a month for Christmas, you have £120 by Christmas. If you put, you know, £20 a month, you get £240 for Christmas. Like, that, in my opinion, that's worth doing. You know, decide for yourself. And then I can be generous at Christmas and not feel like, oh, I can't afford it, because I've already planned the costs. Also, if you need to save up for like a new phone or a new laptop or anything, any kind of big purchase, you save up for that in Hyperjar. I also just put like my food budget for the week, or food budget, I do it monthly actually. I put that into Hyperjar, so I've got that set out. And that is super, super helpful for me, because otherwise I don't know what I'm doing with my money. Especially because I'm saving up for a second cochlear implant still. So I do want to be a bit careful with my money, but without, you know, just being so obsessed with saving money that I like go without things I actually need. I do like to have that balance personally. So I find careful budgeting is the best way to get around that. You can also get vouchers in Hyperjar and cashback. So you can get like 4% cashback in like Asda. Why would you not do that? It's free money. So yeah, you literally get free money for doing this. So I'm just saying it's out there. You don't have to, but free money. Stocard, I also use, that's a loyalty card organizer. So that's just an app on my phone that I use. And I have like my Boots Advantage card, my Nectar card, my Tesco Club card, everything on the app. So I can just scan that in the supermarket rather than having to like dig through and try and find the right loyalty card, which is really annoying. So yes, I use Stocard. Yeah, it's all on my phone. I like to have as much stuff on my phone as I can. So then I only need one thing to think about. I also use phone alarms and timers and a Pomodoro timer. I've got an iPhone now, so it comes with like a built-in Pomodoro thing. If you go on to shortcuts, I think it has like an automatic like start Pomodoro, and you can just press it. And yeah, it will do that. So yeah, it comes built in, but there are also Pomodoro apps, or you can just go on YouTube and find like, type into YouTube like study with me Pomodoro, and you'll find videos where people do that, and you can just like study while you watch one of those videos. I also use my phone alarm all the time. So for example, at the moment I am on a course of antibiotics because I have a really infected finger. I know, so glamorous, but I've got to take them 4 times a day between meals, so on with an empty stomach, it says. So I'm never going to remember to do that unless I put timers. So I put alarms on my phone so I know when I need to take my antibiotics. I also like to use a transcription app, so Caption Ed and Otter are two that exist. I get Caption.ed through my university, so they're kind of paying for it. Otter AI is another one that exists. It's perfectly good. Ava's another one that exists. Google Live Transcribe. There are all these different apps that you can get that are basically the same thing. These are really good for either if you're deaf or have hearing loss, or if you just forget what someone's told you immediately after they've told it to you. If you can record them saying it and have it transcribed and have it written down, you won't forget as easily. So yeah, I like to always have something like that, especially because of my hearing loss. sometimes I'm like focusing so much on like hearing what the person says and like understanding them in the moment, I don't actually absorb the information. So I like to have a transcription app available as well. It's also super important to keep like some level of structure and routine. Again, you can do this through your calendar, through to-do lists. I also, this is kind of my next one thing, I have this app called Finch, and it's a self-care pet app. So you have like a little bird and you can like look after it, and you can add tasks on there and tick them off throughout the day and send your little pet bird on adventures. I like it. It's one of those things that I don't think it would be for everyone, but you know, it's worth a try. It's free. You can, you know, there is a premium version, but you can use it for free to see if you like it or not. But I think maintaining some sort of structure and routine, whether that's like at 9 a.m. I do this specific thing, or if it's more like, you know, first I do this, and then after that I do something else. If it depends what works for you. But I think having some level of structure to your days and weeks is a very good idea. I also like to use Google Drive. So Google Drive, I like to use it for like all my essays and everything like that. I do them in Google Docs. The reason for this is because you can't lose it, basically. There's no danger of, oh, you forgot to press save and it hasn't saved, and then you've lost it, and then you have a massive meltdown because you don't know what to do because you've just lost your essay that you spent 5 hours working on. I'm speaking from experience. I've done that. Luckily, I think Microsoft Word does have like autosave and stuff, but also you can access it from any computer. So I like to have contingency plans. That's the only way I can really prevent having like massive meltdowns if anything goes wrong, is having a lot of contingency plans. So for example, I know if my laptop breaks the day before an essay is due in and I can't finish my essay, or can't submit it, I know I can go to the library, use the library computers, and I can log on to my Google Drive from the library and I'll still be able to access everything. And that just takes a lot of stress off of me. That's actually never happened. I've never had to do that. But I know that I can. And if I had it just saved locally onto my computer, if my laptop breaks, then I've lost the file. If you have it on a USB stick or something, you lose the USB, you've lost your file. And that's something that I just can't be dealing with in this day and age. So yeah, that's something that I like to do. Also, Microsoft has OneDrive. There are lots of different cloud-based word processors sort of situations that you can use. I like Google Drive. Use whatever you like. Next on my list is Quillbot. So Quillbot is a grammar checker, proofreader sort of situation. It's like Grammarly. I used to use Grammarly. The thing about Grammarly is it's only English, whereas Quillbot, there are a few languages in there, and the ones I need are Spanish and English, and it's got both of those. So I don't know what other languages it has, but it has quite a few. I think it's got French and stuff on as well. So that's really useful for me because I am sometimes writing in Spanish, I'm sometimes writing in English, and I want it to be able to handle both. And it is more expensive than Grammarly Premium, and you kind of would want the premium version if you're a student. There's no reason why you can't use the free version, but you're going to find the premium version a lot more useful, in my personal opinion. And it has a lot of tools, like it can help you paraphrase things, it can help you rephrase awkward sounding sentences and things like that. Obviously, with things like this, nowadays, recently, Grammarly and Quillbot and stuff, they've added kind of AI writing assistants. I feel like if you're doing anything that's like in a university or something, and especially these things where they're like Grammarly and Quillbot, if you go on them, they're like, oh, we're Quillbot, I know, but I don't know Grammarly. They're like, we're endorsed by all of these universities, and then they provide AI writing assistants. So it makes, to me, it makes it sound like those universities are promoting you to get use the AI writing assistant to write your essay for you. which is obviously not what's happening. Don't use that to write your essay, but I think spelling and grammar and just rephrasing things, for me and my ethics, I think that's fine. Just kind of phrasing it, like add a comma, you know, put this at the start of the sentence and like switch the sentence around. As long as it's all your own ideas, I personally think that's fine. I think my university thinks it's fine as well. A lot of autistic people struggle with like context. So if it says it's endorsed by a university and then it has AI writing assistance, it's very logical to assume that that means the university is endorsing you to use the AI, but it's not. It's not. That's not what it means. It just means the like grammar and stuff. So unless you've specifically been told you're allowed to use AI writing assistance for your essays, don't. I'm not anti-AI. I'm going to be talking about that in a second. But first, I'm going to talk about the do not disturb function on my phone. This, you need it. Use it. Also, manage notifications on everything. So I, like, for example, on my email, I only receive notifications for emails that are from actual people, not like 50% off all shoes, you know, those kind of marketing emails. I don't get notifications for them. So that's not distracting me. Snapchat as well, any sort of social media, I turn off the notifications because I can't be bothered with any of that. But I like to have the do not disturb function as well because it just stops you having that ping, ping, ping distractions. Slight issue though is I oftentimes have my phone on do not disturb because I do find the notifications from my phone extremely overwhelming. So I like to just have it on. And then my mum sometimes gets really worried because she can't contact me. But it's one of those things, like, you have to balance the not worrying your family, but also I don't believe that everyone should feel pressure to be constantly connected all the time. I know this is a bit philosophical, way off topic, but the do not disturb function exists. Don't feel guilty about using it if you need to. My last actual recommendation is a tentative recommendation. I recommend it for certain things, and that is generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, any of those, Copilot, Bing, any of those. They can be really, really good for specific things. However, I'm making this video as a student, and I think academic integrity is really important. So don't use these things to write your essays for you or to cheat in exams or anything like that. Just don't do it. They can tell, you'll get caught. There are detectives for these things. You'll get caught. But they can be really useful. So for example, if I know I'm going to be in like an awkward social situation and there are things that I might need to say, I will ask ChatGPT, like, what should I say in this situation? And it comes up with some ideas, and I find that very helpful. Another thing that I've used it for, which is actually to do with my studies, but I wouldn't consider this cheating, and you know, if you consider this cheating, I mean, let me know. But for example, I had to revise for a grammar test in Spanish, and they gave us like a mock exam. And so I did the kind of mock exam, and I kind of wanted more practice questions. So what I did, I copied and pasted the entire mock exam into ChatGPT and said, can you write another mock exam using this style? And then I put my answers in, and it marked it for me and basically explained what things I've got wrong. Like, oh, you should have used the indicative here rather than the subjunctive because it talks, you know, whatever. I'm not going to go into Spanish grammar. But that sort of thing, it's very good for something like helping you budget. So if you're like, oh, how much a month do I need for food? Ask ChatGPT. If you want, another thing that I've done is asked it for exercise recommendations. So I have quite like hypermobile joints, so I do need to keep quite fit, but I also have to be very careful with like impact and stuff because I'm quite prone to injury. So I put this into ChatGPT and kind of describe my situation, like, I'm young, I'm relatively fit, but I do need to be careful. Here's the equipment I have, like, I want to use body weight and resistance bands only, and it will come up with something, and it's actually really good. And it was a bit too easy, so I had to like do more reps than it said, but it does come up with good stuff like that. Budgeting, yeah, anything like that. A lot of the things that Goblin Tools can do, it can also do, but I prefer Goblin Tools for the stuff that Goblin Tools is designed for. I think it works a bit better, and it's less likely to misunderstand you because each tool has a specific function. But yes, also another thing I use generative AI for, which this one might be a little controversial, but again, I don't think this is cheating because it will all be my own ideas. So if, for example, I'm taking notes for an essay and I've got this big document and it's a huge mess and I'm like, oh my goodness, what have I done here? Like I've got half things in one font type and half things in another font type and it's all a bit of a disaster. I'll put it into ChatGPT and be like, can you just neaten this up for me and like streamline it, compile it into something a bit neater? And it will do it, and I'll check through and make sure it's all correct and make sure it's not like added a load of stuff or taken stuff out or, you know, changed things and made it wrong. Don't use it for like don't use it for like finding sources and stuff because it will just make stuff up. I think it's getting a little better, but you know, use your university reading list, JSTOR, Google Scholar, use those, not ChatGPT, because it won't work as well. But for the specific things that it is good at, it's very good at. Link to this, for example, if you find an article on JSTOR, say, or if you've given something from a book, but it's just been like photocopied, so the actual text isn't like highlightable by like a PDF reader. You know what I mean? Like where it's just a photocopy or like a scan of a book. You can put that into a image, like extract text from image software, just online, just Google like extract text from image, and it will extract the text for you. So then you can have it in like a clean text format where you can highlight and do all your digital notes and everything like that. And that's another really useful thing. Yeah, ChatGPT can't do that as far as I'm aware, but yeah, those are also another really useful study tool to make things easier to organise, so you can add everything into a document neatly and not have like screenshots of a scan of a book and then have like a quotation from another thing and you don't know what's from what and you don't know what page the screenshot is from. You know what I mean, where it all just kind of goes a bit wrong. There are ways around that, and ChatGPT and extracting text from images, really useful. I do have a couple of honourable mentions. First one is Tiimo, spelt T-I-I-M-O. It's a calendar app and it's designed for neurodiverse people. I liked it. I did use it for a couple of years, but I just found like I didn't feel like it added anything over using just my Outlook calendar and the Finch thing for like tasks. So I personally don't use that anymore, but it is a good app, and you know, I may well, once I finish university and I'm not relying on Outlook calendar specifically anymore, I might go back to Tiimo, but yeah, that's kind of an honourable mention. Like I don't actually use it anymore, but I have used it and it is very good. So if you're thinking about it, definitely give it a go. Also Grammarly is an honourable mention. I don't really use it anymore. I use Quillbot instead, but Grammarly is very good and it does pretty much all the same things. If you don't need Spanish, or if you only need English, use Grammarly because it is cheaper and it does pretty much all the same things apart from the multi-language support. If you need like English and French or English and Spanish or, you know, whatever languages, you'll want Quillbot, or I'm sure there are other ones around that do the same sort of thing, but Quillbot's the one I use, and I've also used Grammarly, so I can personally vouch for those. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and found my suggestions useful. If you have anything else in the comments that you would like to add, or anything, if you've tried something that I've recommended and you're like, no, Nell, you're way off, you need to use this instead, this one's way better, let me know, because I do actually want to know. Yeah, if you have any specific apps or tools or something that you use to stay organised, let me know, and I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!